Let's just say it was a bad week to be named Kraft. Because this week, Robert Kraft, the billionaire owner of the New England Patriots, he got charged for soliciting prostitution from a massage parlor in Jupiter, Florida called Orchids of Asia. And now while he claims he's innocent, has nothing to do with this, the police say that they have video evidence and can confirm that he spent between $50 and $79 for services at the massage parlor. Now, that in itself doesn't bother me, but my thought process is, if you're a billionaire, why go to some sleazy massage parlor in a strip mall? Wouldn't you go get some expensive escort service? I mean, that would make sense to me, but anyway, I digress. Welcome to the Nutma Show, where we discuss news and current events and analyze how those things impact your everyday life. My name is Kellen, and I've got a few things to talk about this week. Now, first on our list is Samsung dropped their new foldable phone, and they're charging $1,980 for this thing. I mean, it has 2 batteries and 6 cameras, and all that sounds cool, but I'm not gonna buy that thing. That's way too expensive for a phone. Can you imagine if you dropped it and broke it, how insane getting that screen repaired would be? But if you get it, let me know. I'd love to see how the thing works. Second, if you happen to remember the name Jeffrey Skilling, well, he was the former CEO of Enron, an energy company that is now defunct. Now, he was released from prison after serving a 12-year sentence, and that's due to Enron's faulty accounting practices that overstated the value of its assets. Now, Enron subsequently went bankrupt, and tens of thousands of people lost their jobs. That's why Skilling went to jail, but he's out now. So it'll be interesting to see if he writes a book or how many news interviews he gets booked for. And next, in somewhat sad news, we learned that Atlas Air 3591 crashed outside of Houston. Now, this plane may mean nothing to you, but it was operating as an Amazon Prime aircraft and suddenly just fell out of the sky. So please don't complain if your packages are late this week. And one of our main topics, as I was saying, it's a bad week to be named Kraft. Well, Kraft Heinz, the gigantic ketchup and macaroni and cheese manufacturer, they wrote down the value of some of their assets by $15.4 billion. And they're citing that this is due to changing consumer preferences, as many Americans are choosing to go for more organic and all-natural products with ingredients that are humanely sourced. And the company just says they did not adjust to those changing preferences as quickly as they should have. And in fact, Kraft Heinz is owned by a company called 3G Capital, which is a Brazilian buyout firm. And what they do is they go make splashy acquisitions and purchase large companies. They go in and slash costs to save money and reap economies of scale. Well, the thing is, that didn't really work. And as I was once told by Wells Fargo's former CEO, John Stumpf, you cannot save your way to prosperity. And that means cutting costs will not help you grow your business. It's not going to make it any better. You can't rely on that to save your business. And this is what seems to have happened with Kraft Heinz. Now, the company isn't defunct, it's not falling apart, but it is going through a challenging time. And interestingly, Kraft Heinz, it all came about after a combination or a merger between Kraft and Heinz. And this was led not only by 3G Capital, but Berkshire Hathaway, the company founded by billionaire Warren Buffett. Now, that's important because this past weekend, Warren Buffett released his annual shareholder letter, which finance professionals and nerds around the world look forward to. And in this letter, he talks not just about Berkshire Hathaway, but the US economy and the global economy as a whole. Now, this time around, while it was a shorter letter, he did talk about the Kraft Heinz merger and says that, in fact, he overpaid for it. And this is important because the Kraft Heinz write-down, that ended up contributing a $2.7 billion loss to Berkshire Hathaway. Now, don't worry. Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, they're not broke. And in fact, they still have $112 billion. And that's where some of their shareholders comes in, because they want to know what the company is going to do with that cash. Are they going to go get involved in another splashy acquisition, as they traditionally do in the past? Or are they going to pay out dividends or buy back stock? All of those things help continue to help those shareholders earn money and grow their wealth. So, of course, that's why they're curious about that. And our final topic of the week revolves around Donald Trump and his decision to delay tariffs on China. Now, as you may already know, we're running a 10% tariff on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. And this is due to Chinese trade policies. For example, a number of US firms are complaining that China, they just don't play fair. If you want to do business in China, you've got to do it through a joint venture with a Chinese company, or there's a bunch of state-owned conglomerates where they can compete unfairly. They are known to steal intellectual property and technology. And of course, there are the accusations that they have manipulated their currency to make Chinese products that much more competitive against products from around the world. And in this case, particularly the United States. Well, of course, Donald Trump didn't like that and sought out to make changes. Now, he threatened to increase those tariffs from 10% to 25% on March 1st if the US and China did not come to an agreement. Well, lo and behold, he chose to delay that because, as he said, there has been significant progress in those talks, which was great for the markets, both Chinese and US, as they have increased because it makes businesses and investors a bit more comfortable with how things are going to proceed in the future. Is it going to be that much harder to conduct business with China? Is it going to be harder for me to sell my products there? Am I going to have to buy more of their things? And so far, things are working out nicely, but we can only wait and see. Donald Trump says that he and China's president are going to meet down at Mar-a-Lago to hash out some of the final details. And this is all great for both countries, really. And I'm hoping that we can come to a resolution where both countries can benefit and trade fairly. Now, on that note, I want to know what you're thinking about the US and China trade policies. Do you think something needs to change to be a bit more drastic than what has been suggested? So, for example, the Chinese are committing to buying more agricultural products such as soybeans from the United States. And it's also rumored that they're going to adjust their practices of requiring those joint ventures or the sharing of intellectual property or technology. Do you think it should go deeper? What do you think they could do to prevent currency manipulation? So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm happy to see what you have to say. And that's all I've got for you this week. So until next time, peace.